We should have a post show to this show. Dagan can do it.
I was going to say, go for it. I'm out.
Oh yeah, we're back. It's Saturday. We are here live for the first time in many long days. And man, it's been a boring ass month with nothing happening in wrestling, right? So that's it. That's the show. We have nothing to talk about. I just figured we'd come on here for about 45 seconds and then end the show.
It'll just be me eating this Dutch.
See you guys. There you go. But no, for real, we've had way too much happening to talk about all of it. We had the G1. We've had AEW, all sorts of drama happening. We've had WWE, kind of, I guess not as much drama happening over there.
Surprisingly.
But some stuff to talk about there. And then, of course, the big news story of the week was this whole nonsense with Cash Wheeler, which is actually something that happened back at the end of July.
Yeah,
so crazy. I guess we could kind of start there because it's the most recent thing. Cash Wheeler of FTR, half of the Fame tag team, was turned himself in and arrested on an account of felony, a third-degree felony charge stemming from a road rage incident in Florida. So this was reported by the Orlando Sentinel yesterday, I believe, or the day before. I think it was
would have been
Thursday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Oh my God. Feels like Thursday already. But yeah, so had an arraignment in the court. There's video footage out there of it, which you can see.
So is this mugshot?
His mugshot is out there with his face looking all fucked up. So I don't really understand what that was all about. But he was given a $2,500 bond in order to turn in any weapons he owns and to have no contact with the alleged victim. However, he was not ordered to turn in his passport, which is many people speculated right off the bat. Well, that means probably no Young Bucks and FTR at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah. Oh my God, the world is burning right off the bat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As usual, the internet and people online just freak out about these kinds of things when they're first reported, and it's like nobody really gives time to sort of let and see how the things go first before they react in this era of instant technology and things just kind of happening really fast. But yeah, hey, look, man, I'm not going to sit here and defend Cash Wheeler because it's probably not a good idea to like wave a gun in somebody's face in traffic.
No.
But I will say, just to throw a little perspective out there, somebody that delivers food for a living, that is constantly having to deal with dumbass, stupid fucks driving on the road. I will say there have been times, it's like I never would actually do this, but there are times when I certainly would like to pull a gun on somebody because they're in my fucking way. When I'm trying to get pizza to a certain location by, 7 o'clock or whatever it is. So again, I'm not defending it. Terrible thing to do.
Totally.
However, people do dumb shit. There are a lot of stupid drivers out there, especially in Florida, of all places. So again, not defending the guy, but I kind of feel for him a little bit.
You get it. You get it.
Yeah. So there you go. That's sort of my take on it. It's a shame that people have to freak out about it and be like, "Oh, this is all Tony Khan's fault for some reason." Like what?
That's a good take. At the end of the day, like, why the fuck did he have a gun in a vehicle? Whatever. Yeah. That's his own business. But at the end of the day, it could have been a lot worse if you actually think about it. Like when you hear, weapons stress charges and all that shit, and you're like, what the fuck did he do? Oh, he just waved a gun at somebody. Yeah, he's probably gonna get a slap on the wrist for that, if I'm being honest. He's not.
Yeah, I mean it's Florida.
It's shit, right? It's Florida and he's white.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, he's in all honesty, like, yeah, he's just gonna get a slap on the wrist. So the match against the Young Bucks is not in trouble. There's no
it's
worry about that. There was somebody
still happening.
When the news first broke, I was actually trying to find the post, but I couldn't find it. Which, by the way, I'm never fucking calling it X. It'll always be Twitter. Fuck you, Elon Musk.
Yeah, fuck you, Musk.
Just like I still call Rogers Arena the garage or GM place sometimes. But anyways, no, there was somebody who basically the tweet said, without giving away what I do, Cash Wheeler, as long as his conditions of release aren't restrictive, will have no problem getting into the UK. So the match is fine. Like we're good.
FTR is advertised for Collision tonight. As we're going live here, we're about just over math. We're just around 45 minutes away from Collision airing live from I don't know where they are this week, like South Carolina or something.
Not Canada, so who cares?
Not Canada. And it's not New England. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of promo they cut tonight, if in fact that's what they're going to be doing, and what kind of reaction they get from the crowd after this. Because
if I'm being 100% honest, I think this can be fine.
Yeah, it's not going to be. You might have some guy with a sign with a gun.
You know what? Wrestlers have done worse.
Oh, yeah.
Right, like, how many times has Jey Uso been arrested for DUI, or the Usos been arrested for DUI? Jeff Hardy, right? Like, Jeff Hardy got his license revoked and he's still loved. FTR is going to be fine. I think it's just the internet being the internet.
Yeah.
People really don't actually give a shit.
It's actually all Tony Khan's fault. So
exactly.
Blame him for all this and get angry at him
for hiring Cash
in the first place.
If anything, get mad at Vince McMahon for releasing the that's who you should really get mad at.
No, because no one gets mad at Vince. It's definitely Tony Khan. It's always Tony Khan's fault.
Yep. I think that's why it's been quiet in the WWE front lately, is because Vince is recovering from major spine surgery.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'm really curious to hear what do they mean by life altering.
Is that what they're saying about Vince's surgery?
Apparently, it was a big deal. So I'm like, what does this mean?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm just like, because I've seen some spots over the years where he could have easily have fucked up his spine and never got it fixed. Actually, the one that comes to mind is St. Valentine's Day Massacre 1999. Steel cage match against Austin. There's a spot on the cage where they're both on it, and Austin's hitting his head against the cage, and then he does it, and McMahon jumps off the cage to the table, but he actually landed on the edge of the table with his spine.
Oh,
yeah. Like things like that. I'm like, I really wonder what this surgery is.
Hey, speaking of edge and tables, it's a good segue. There's a report out there which has actually been confirmed by the man himself.
Mm-hmm.
That Edge's contract with WWE is up. Clarification on that. Of course, people were like, "Oh, All In is going to debut at Wembley Stadium." No, it's not up until the end of September. So we still got about a month and a half left on that contract. So no debut at Arthur Ashe Stadium or anything either. I think if he's going to debut for AEW and come in there, I'm thinking Full Gear is probably like a good spot for that. But of course,
if he does,
right? I mean, as the internet tends to speculate, people are already going, well, Christian's in AEW, and having a reunion with those two would be kind of cool. And AEW
and you know what? The Hardys are on the Independents, and guess who's reuniting pretty fucking quick here? The Dudleys.
Yeah. So all these old tag teams kind of coming back and making a bit of a resurgence in recent years.
And that's the type of match you can get Devon to do, because he's still recovering from a few strokes a few years ago, and he's got his neck injury that he had. So that could actually be an attraction match. Oh, fuck yeah.
But talking specifically about Edge, he's sort of come out there and said that his last match with WWE was against Sheamus on SmackDown last night. I have not watched it, but and he sort of confirmed that, and also said he doesn't really know what he's going to do next, which I feel like is always a code for, well, he's going to go to AEW. But I don't know. Who knows? But it would make sense. I mean, given all the guys that have okay, they have one last run in WWE, and now they have another last kind of run in AEW. You know, it seems to be the place. But how it will sort of work with Christian's kind of current gimmick with Luchasaurus and the TNT title, it's like I feel like it's probably good that he's still got like a month and a half left, because I feel like all that stuff with like Darby needs to get wrapped up first, before he comes in. But yeah, what do you think?
Unless you go Edge versus Christian.
Right, they could do that as well if he comes in as a babyface.
Yeah, because now like, oh, you're coming in on my turf. I'm not in your shadow. All that shit. Right?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if Full Gear has that like casino ladder match thing. I don't think they did one.
Revolution.
It is usually Revolution. Yeah, I don't think they did. Because I went to Full Gear last year and they didn't do one there. They didn't do any kind of battle royal or anything. So, because like that's usually the spot somebody like Edge would debut, but he's obviously it's freaking Edge, so it's a big enough name for him to just kind of debut. Yeah, wherever. And a random episode of Dynamite, or whatever it might be. But so you won't see him there until probably closer to the end of September, but if he does pop up there, but that would be my prediction.
He wants to do, because he has talked about retirement before. What's a great way to go out in your hometown on your own terms against one of your good friends? If he didn't go to AEW, I wouldn't begrudge him, because one, it was a great match, and two, it was what a way to go out. The video packages, messages from Cena and all those guys.
And three, he's not getting any younger, and given his history with everything and the fact that he had to retire for so many years and then came back, he's had a pretty good run.
He said in recent times that it is getting harder. So, he's with Percy Jackson just debuting, and of course with the strike and shit going on.
Wait, Percy Jackson from the Lightning Thieves or whatever?
The first trailer dropped yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but
he's in that?
He's Ares.
Really?
Oh, okay. Yeah. And as someone who's read the books, I can't think of a better casting. Oh, it's going to be awesome. Because
is that a series on Disney Plus or something?
Yeah, okay. It's a series.
Because I remember they tried to do a movie and it sucked.
I didn't mind the movies. Actually, the movies are what got me into the books.
Right.
But no, he plays Ares, and Ares in the books, like you don't actually see him in those movies. Ares in the books is portrayed as a biker from hell.
Oh yeah, that's
so.
Edge.
When I heard Edge's cast, I'm like, well, duh.
If it's not Undertaker, it's got to be Edge.
Yeah. And what would be cool? Like, who the fuck is the? He's with another god. I think it's like Aphrodite or whatever. That would be pretty cool if they cast Beth Phoenix as that.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, no, I'm actually looking.
So is that series like wrapped, so it's not affected by the strikes or anything?
Yeah, it filmed last year.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was already done before the strike and all that.
And it's a series for the first book?
Yes, for the first book.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would mean that if there's going to be a season 2, it'll probably be a while because
if there's a season 2, it'll be a while. It'll be Sea of Monsters and for those who haven't read it, yes, they're young adult books, but they're fucking good and they're funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're way off topic now, but let's kind of get. Who gives a shit, really? We could just come on here. We label this show Wrestling Talk, but we could just come on here and talk about whatever the hell we want. Do the show whatever the hell we want. We don't have a team of people behind us telling us what to do, so that's always nice. But let's move on here and talk a little bit about. We'll go back to AEW because there was some pretty big news this week. I'm gonna pull up the actual numbers here from WrestleTix. But basically, so that we had two big on sales. We had WrestleMania in Philadelphia, which at one point I was considering maybe attending, although probably not. I think I'll probably do Double or Nothing weekend instead in Vegas, hopefully. So that show went on sale both nights. They've sold over 90,000 tickets for that, which is obviously it's 2 nights, so it's like just over 45,000 each night. But that's still a hell of a good number for that.
It broke a record too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was the most tickets sold, I think, for whatever, I don't know,
launch or something like that. Yeah,
pre-sale, whatever it was. Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty cool there. It's kind of funny because like you have
all-time gate record.
The gate record, that's it. Yeah, it was like 12.5 million or something ridiculous.
Yeah, over 90,000 tickets.
That's pretty crazy. So it's funny because I looked at that number initially and I went, oh wow, they just outsold All In like right off the bat. And then I went, oh wait, no, it's 90,000 over the 2 nights. So it's
split for 2.
quite,
and you know what? I'm not surprised. WWE in terms of business right now is on fucking fire.
Yeah. So the other big ticket sale, obviously, that has been going on for a few months now, but just continues to keep going here is All In at Wembley Stadium, where we're currently hovering over right now. Yeah. They have now sold a total. This is tickets distributed, so not necessarily tickets sold. There's a few comps and things that you have to account for. But they have now sold over 80,846 tickets, which has broken the all-time record set by WrestleMania 32 in Arlington, Texas in 2016. 16. There you go.
Yeah, I can do the math there because I'm like, wait, WrestleMania 1 was 85, but the 30s or whatever are like the only fours.
So of course that number for WrestleMania 32, Vince McMahon's heightened gimmick number that he threw out there was like 100,000 something. No, it wasn't quite that. If you look at
if you use their logic and you include the people working the vending,
sure, but then you can throw that in for All In as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that number for 32 was 80,709, and that was the all-time record.
Which is so impressive.
Yes. So the glorified indie T-shirt company from Jacksonville, Florida,
are going out of business.
Is no more. They will be bankrupt within 6 weeks. Some guy on the internet told me that, and he's always right. But yeah, man. Almost 81,000 tickets now. It's just crazy that they keep selling it at this rate, given that the shows in the U.S. have not been selling anywhere near that. I mean, obviously, it's England, so it's an untapped market.
Yeah, I was about to say that, yeah.
And this is a massive show. We already have a pretty solid card lined up already.
Which are still pitching about.
Of course they are.
Well, because in a way I understand, like, the build-up was, we've all known the thing was going to happen for a while, but they just started announcing matches, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, and I get the criticism.
And people are pissed that Omega's in a trios match. I'm like, who gives a shit? It's going to be a good match.
People are just unfucking believable. It's like, come on, man. It's All In. It's going to be a massive show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people whining and complaining on the internet. It's like you're just looking for something to complain about at this point.
Pretty much.
But I'm pretty hyped for this show, regardless. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be there. It's way too far away. But I'm going to be watching at home, hopefully live. And I think when all is said and done, I wouldn't be surprised if they have close to 85,000, because the tickets, the way that they're selling, if you look at WrestleTix chart here, it's every few days they sell about another several hundred tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So you factor in that we're about a week or so away, and that you might still have a bit of a walk up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could legit sell this thing out when all is said and done.
Yeah, no kidding. And
or let me rephrase that. Yeah. Jay White was single-handedly selling out Wembley Stadium here for AEW. But yeah,
what I'm curious is how the fuck they're going to pull off Stadium Stampede.
Yeah,
that's nuts. And actually, I'm wondering who the other 3 that the Blackpool Combat Club are going to choose as their partners.
I think we predicted that on a show a couple months ago. Probably. We were like, what if they do Stadium Stampede in the actual stadium?
They're fucking going to. Hey, who knew?
Yeah.
Watched.
I'll throw a name out there that I want on the Blackpool Combat Club team, and that is Minoru Suzuki.
That's a possibility.
85,000 people chanting Kaze Nina Ray is something that I really want to see.
That is a high possibility because he does work quite a bit with AEW.
Yeah. I think Shota Umino will definitely be in there because we've seen him team with those guys. And he's got the history. But I don't know. Okay, so that's 2 names, but a third name, I don't know. I heard like people throw out Filthy Tom Lawler. That would be a good one because he was supposed to wrestle at Forbidden Door and then his match got canceled.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
That would be really cool. Like him in front of 85,000 people would be just wild. But
I'm actually predicting this for the main event. I'm predicting Adam Cole turns on MJF.
Oh, you think it's gonna go that way? Okay.
Yeah, I saw somebody mention like how cool would it be if it was Adam Cole that turned on and actually rejoined with the Kingdom.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Okay, interesting. But I do think it would be kind of fun because MJF, surprisingly, is a good babyface.
He's been
well,
great.
Actually, not surprisingly, because usually the best heels can also make the best babyfaces. Look at fucking Rowdy Piper.
I like the fake babyface MJF. It's been
he's
great.
Real. Like even like in his promos, like
I mean, kind of at this point he is.
You're sympathetic with him in some things.
Yeah.
I would love to see a face MJF run.
Oh, Vermont Mike here brings up a good point.
You're an asshole.
Blackpool Combat Club without a Brit in the UK. Yeah, that's interesting.
Pac is injured.
Maybe a Zack Sabre Jr. or somebody. That could be.
That's a possibility.
It could be an interesting name. Yeah.
Or you know who's been fucking trying to get reinstated? Trying to get reinstated to wrestle and is from the UK.
Nigel McGuinness.
That's
an interesting idea as well. Yeah. So I wonder if they're going to announce that team before we get to the show, or
they're probably going to announce it on Wednesday.
Dynamite. Yeah. So Dynamite. It's an interesting dude. This is going to be a crazy week for AEW because we got Collision tonight, obviously, but then leading into All In, they have a Wednesday taping, and given that they're all traveling over to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to tape Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision all back to back, all with guys in the same building that don't necessarily get along.
They're not doing Collision from the UK?
No, they are pre-taping it on Wednesday and airing it on Saturday.
They're probably going to get the Elite out of there and get Punk in afterwards.
Yeah, because I mean they pulled it off before for I think Forbidden Door or whatever it was. Yeah. But it's kind of interesting to note that they have to film so close together. And the recent reports, obviously, I hate talking about it because it's just annoying to keep having to continue to talk about it. But apparently, it's not so pleasant behind the scenes with CM Punk and with the Elite, and you hear about all this drama of Punk getting guys banned from the building, like Hangman Page, and then going after Hangman Page.
That had nothing to do with. It turns out that one actually nothing to do with.
Well, at least he cut a promo at least after,
and he did, and then he actually texted. He actually texted Hangman afterwards and apologized.
Yes,
he apologized. So
the weird one for me was Christopher Daniels. What? The head of talent relations. That's where I feel like. Okay, Tony Khan maybe could have drawn the line, be like, no,
I'm with you there, unless that's Punk being petty because they still is not allowed anywhere near the buildings.
That's what you hear. People were speculating about. But I mean, again, take every Dave Meltzer report with a grain of salt. But he was saying that it's very contentious behind the scenes, and people are like, it's near a boiling point again, similar to what he was reporting before the brawl happened at All Out last year, and that if they don't nip this in the bud now, that there could be some serious issues headed into the biggest show, not only in company history, but potentially the biggest wrestling show of all time. So
who'd have fucking thunk it wouldn't be WWE.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, it's interesting to note. Drama with Punk, drama with people behind the scenes, drama with FTR. I like this question here from Mike. Should FTR be escorted out by Double A with their appearances, referring back to Arn's Glock promo or two?
That is a pairing that I don't know why they never did.
Yeah.
It's Arn and Tully reincarnate? Why wouldn't they be they did it with Tully? Why not fucking with Arn now?
Yeah.
What's Arn doing? Where's Wardlow?
Well, they did it with Tully when they were when they were heels. And
now
they've been faces for a while. So
because Arn is that legendary babyface where Tully, it's easy to boo him. Always easy to boo him. But it's what is he doing right now? Where's Wardlow? Fucking why not?
Oh yeah, that's right. Wasn't Arn managing Wardlow?
For
a second?
Is a little weird.
And then he vanished.
Why not?
And wasn't there something didn't he come out with Brock like at a
well, of course he's only going to
something recently.
And then there was that thing where there was almost a team with Pillman Jr., but Pillman Jr. apparently is at the Professional Performance Center now. So.
Yeah, we might see him in.
Yeah.
By the way, what do you think Brian Pillman Jr.'s stupid NXT name is going to be? I was thinking like Brian Flynn or something dumb.
Ooh.
Because it's like, they have Braun Breaker and all these
but
guys,
from what I've heard, that was his decision.
They're not like it's not Charlotte Flair where they're going to take the name. Like,
well,
they're very.
Pillman has enough cachet. You could,
but they won't because it's NXT in 2023.
You never
give
know.
Them some stupid new name that dumb. I don't know. I think flying like Flyman or I don't even know. Bill Fly. I don't.
The Cincinnati Kid. I don't know.
Yeah, something dumb. But I thought for sure, like as soon as I saw he left AEW, I was like, oh, he'll be going to Impact and having a world title run there. But no, he's actually
I think
off to NXT
to the WWE style.
Yeah.
I think.
They should call him the Ringmaster. Oh wait.
Oh dear God.
Oh, how do we segue out of this one?
There you go, kid. It's yours now.
But yeah, no, we got an exciting week here coming up for AEW and for the wrestling world.
Yep.
And it is kind of mind blowing that this massive show is not a WWE show, although they've talked about running Wembley Stadium at some point down the road, but I don't think that's going to be until like probably 2028 or 9 or something.
For Mania. That's
WrestleMania.
Only matter of time.
2-night WrestleMania, because then they can claim the record back.
Yeah.
Because what? So give us a little history lesson, Soda. The original Wembley Stadium show.
Yeah.
SummerSlam. What year again?
92.
92.
Yeah.
I was 2 years old.
I was about ready to turn 5.
Yeah.
My birthday. Oh, actually, no.
Maybe
5 days before my birthday.
Maybe a little too young for us to remember, but certainly a legendary show in its own right.
Pretty decent show too.
Yeah, so the one that I might have to go back and rewatch. Now, I believe that the current Wembley Stadium is a new Wembley Stadium.
It is. It's not the same one.
Right. It's very rare that some of these old iconic stadiums still remain. I feel like the only one left standing is Madison Square Garden at this point.
Well, that's the fourth Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, but it's been the same garden since like 1967 or something.
Yeah, that's true. Even though they did the heavy renovation, it still is the same structure.
It looks a bit different inside than it used to, but it's still
that Wembley Stadium is definitely no longer around. They destroyed that motherfucker in 2002 over 2003.
So this new Wembley Stadium is about 20 years old.
Yeah.
But still bears the same name and the same history.
The reported attendance of that event was 80,000-ish.
Right.
But
so they've probably broken that with the new building.
100%.
I mean, this new building can hold more people, too, is the other thing. So they could cram 90,000 people in there for the show if they want to. If they sell enough tickets.
Though, in 1992, like, obviously the pay-per-view modeling was different. So, like, AEW now, they can air it live, whereas back then they couldn't necessarily do it from the UK. So one, it aired 2 days after the event was filmed, so it wasn't live, and B, they didn't actually see the full card.
Right.
Yeah, there were some matches that
dark matches.
Yeah, that's some dark. Oh, not just dark matches. I think there was actual regular matches too. Oh, never mind. I'm mistaken. Yeah, it was 2 dark matches. Just 2 dark matches. Doug and the Bushwhackers beat the Mountie and the Nasty Boys, and Papa Shango beat Tito Santana.
Yeah, those aren't matches that I necessarily want to go out of my way to.
Yeah. But I mean, like Rick Martel versus Shawn Michaels is a hidden gem. Face versus face. Legion of Doom versus Money Inc. It's the last hurrah for the Legion of Doom in WWE for like 5 years at that point. Savage versus Warrior, while not as good as Mania 7, is a pretty decent,
good match. Yeah,
and of course, Bulldog versus Bret Hart.
Yes,
like
classic.
The match that convinced Vince McMahon to give Bret Hart a shot with the title.
Yep.
because the legend is, well, the legend, the fucking truth is, Bulldog showed up to the event completely out of his gourd and couldn't remember anything, so Brett had to walk him through the entire match.
Oh my God.
And which is pretty good considering there's only one mistake that could have almost ended up horribly wrong.
Yeah.
But after that, Brett pretty much held Davey's hand throughout the whole thing, and you
carried him through.
Carried him, you would have noticed.
You wouldn't notice because it was such a great match. Yeah.
So like that's definitely like a match. If you want to point to Bret Hart's legacy, like that's definitely one of them.
I think like given my current schedule and the fact that we're doing this on Saturday, not Monday, and I have like a million things going on these days, if I'm gonna go back and watch anything leading into All In from that show, I probably want to rewatch the Bulldog
totally.
Hart match and the Shawn Michaels match that you mentioned.
Yeah, it's early Shawn Michaels. I mean, he's only a few months into being the Heartbreak Kid. There's a little bit of comedy elements to it, and basically it's almost like they're fighting over Sherry. It's a good match.
Now, my question here is how much of that match will, or maybe not that match, but the more so probably the Brett and Bulldog match, will MJF and Adam Cole try to recreate?
If anything.
You don't think anything?
No, I think it'll be Punk and Yo.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, if anything, I could definitely see them stealing some spots from there.
Yes, for sure. Well, why don't
I can't believe we're getting that match at Wembley.
I know. What? While we're here, we should run down the card for All In.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject, the pre-show, I would guess, will probably add a couple more matches headed into that. But for now, it's just the one match, which is a very interesting one. Mm-hmm. It's Aussie Open defending the Ring of Honor titles against the guys in the main event, Team Double Clothesline, MJF and Adam Cole. So my prediction, that's an interesting little twist that you have about Cole potentially turning on MJF. But I think that no matter what, this match, they will not win the ROH tag titles, and that will further cause dissension between the two of them.
Yes. And here's why, and I think that I agree with you there. And this is actually why I think Cole's going to turn on him, because Cole said it is the only Ring of Honor championship he hasn't held.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting. It could be. But I also feel like MJF recently, I think that there was a promo on, I can't remember if it was last week's Dynamite or Collision or whenever it was, but it was when Cole got really mad at MJF and kind of shoved him. And right after that, it was like, okay, they did the hug it out thing. But then as Cole was walking away, you see MJF like doing that with the ring. And I'm going like, oh, he's going to whack him with that ring at some point.
You've seen things like that a few times within the build, especially in the last few weeks. But I do want to say, I loved Kangaroo Kick.
Oh my God.
MJF doing an impression of a kangaroo. Oh, just
yes. Yeah, and getting the whole crowd to chant Kangaroo Kick and everything.
That's why I think MJF is going to make a great babyface. Fucking let's go.
Oh, let's do it. I know.
Babyface MJF versus a heel Punk, because you know that's where they're going with Punk.
Well, you had Brian Alvarez whining about how they shouldn't have gone full babyface with them. How they should have gone full babyface with MJF back at Full Gear when he had the match with Moxley. But like, come on. I mean, now is an even better time.
100%.
I feel like to do it. I like your idea. I think that's a really interesting way for them to go.
Yeah.
Regardless,
it's not my original idea, but it is definitely one I'm on board with.
I think regardless, one of them is going to turn on the other one by the end of this match.
If anything,
by the end of the main event.
Now's the time. It's the biggest show in their history. You're going to have to do something.
Brian Alvarez also whined that they didn't win the AEW tag titles, but like, come on, Brian.
Yeah.
No, they didn't need to. Like, they kept him going. That's what he really wanted. He's like, they just need to keep this thing going until 100%. All In. And they did.
Yeah.
They didn't have to win the titles.
The skits. I'm enjoying everything they're doing.
Yeah. So,
although I wish I know it's over, but I wish it was a better finisher than the double clothesline personally. Ridiculous.
But they're trolling you. That's
totally,
what makes it great.
Totally. But the wrestling market, he's like, come on.
Yeah.
But I will admit, I'm having fun with how over it is.
It's great. It's the ratings have shown that it's like the hottest thing in AEW right now.
First shirt better than
Yeah.
like the numbers that one did.
Oh yeah, just shirts flying off the shelves. I mean, people love this thing, and I feel like they've done a really good job with it. You know what it kind of reminds me of a bit? I've been getting heavy Festival of Friendship vibes. Do you remember the Festival of Friendship with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens back in like 2016 or 17, whenever that was? This kind of, there's shades of that.
That was 16.
Yes, 2016. There definitely feels like there's been shades of that a little bit, or like vibes.
100%. I'm just Jimmy Jacobs is working right now because he was the one who. Yep, Jimmy Jacobs works for All Elite Wrestling as a member of the creative team. And that program was Jimmy Jacobs. Like he was behind it. So
I wonder if he's got his finger in this a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So no, man, I love it. I think it's the best. Yeah. It's my current favorite thing.
100%
right now.
Did you watch the video game commercial they did with MGF doing it through gritted teeth?
Oh no, I did. They actually did an ad for the.
I can't remember if it was on one of the shows or if it was on Twitter.
I don't think that was on any of the shows. It was probably just a social media thing. But we'll run down to the rest of the card here. This match hasn't been confirmed yet, but I would be shocked if it doesn't get confirmed tonight. It's CM Punk versus Samoa Joe that we mentioned. Interestingly enough, CM Punk is not advertised for Collision, but Samoa Joe is. So last week ended with Joe attacking Punk. So I wouldn't be surprised if Punk comes back and goes after Joe. But
sorry, did you see on Ring of Honor the match where Joe versus, I can't remember who it was, but it's Stokely, one of Stokely's guys?
I saw that spot. Yeah,
where
they forced them to team.
The nope. And then also Stokely's just dead. They can't fucking move.
He's got the guy. He's about to choke him out, and Stokely does the dive, and Samoa Joe just does the move thing. So Stokely doesn't even do anything. He just wipes out as Joe chokes the guy out and wins.
Match is over. Stokely's still out. The referee is, I think it's Bryce Remberg, is kicking him, trying to get away.
Oh my god! I haven't watched
genius.
Yeah, I haven't watched Ring of Honor in the last few weeks, but
I haven't. I've just been following along on Twitter because if I'm being honest,
you don't need to. It's like Dark. It's like AEW Dark. It's like you don't really have to. It's not essential viewing.
Yeah.
There's not really many storylines, and you just do just fine just watching the pay-per-views.
Yeah, basically, I feel like I honestly do feel like I missed out on Ring of Honor in a way because I didn't watch it pre-Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Now that it's Tony Khan, it's basically like NXT in a way.
Yeah, it's kind of their developmental, almost what they turned what Dark was into Ring of Honor. It's like, I'm fine with it, I guess.
Yeah, I still want to see the Willow Nightingale match that everyone's talking about versus Athena. But
that was awesome from the last pay-per-view.
I can actually get it now.
Yeah. So we'll run down the rest of the card here. We got Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and Kota Ibushi versus Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Konosuke Takeshita. So continuing the Don Callis feud thing that we got going on there. And then also, not what I think a lot of people thought was going to happen, which a lot of people I think kind of assumed they would do Ospreay Omega 3 at this show. Yeah. But I think that they're saving that match for the Tokyo Dome in January, the third match in the series. But we have Chris Jericho taking on Will Ospreay in a singles match, which should be really interesting. It's definitely a bit of a difference in style there between
wasn't
those
expecting
two.
That.
But I think it's a match that Ospreay, I know, has wanted to have for a while. That I think probably both of these guys have been wanting to have for a while.
Yeah.
So it'll be really, really interesting to see how that's not. I don't think it's gonna be that 6-star, Dave Meltzer classic that Ospreay Omega would be. But I'm still be very interested to watch that one.
Oh, totally! It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and then we have Stadium Stampede, which we talked about a little bit earlier. The team's members confirmed so far. On one team, we have Eddie Kingston, the Lucha Brothers, and the Best Friends with Orange Cassidy taking on the team of Blackpool Combat Club, John Moxley, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta, and 3 mystery partners. So we already did our speculation of who those could be. And just Stadium Stampede with the 90,000 people is going to be a wild thing to watch. I don't know how they're going to pull it off because, the original Stadium Stampede matches took place in an empty stadium, so they had all this room and all this space to do whatever they wanted, and they were pre-taped, and they pre-taped it too. So
and then the last one they did it Boiler Room Brawl style, where they pre-taped it the first part, and then they did the stuff obviously in the arena live.
I feel like this is going to be like Anarchy in the Arena times 90,000 people. You know what I mean? It's going to be very similar.
What the layout of the new Wembley is? Like, I
don't know. Like,
just give me a second here. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if it's like a multi-complex thing, like,
I think it is. Like, I don't know if I take myself off.
I don't know.
A little bit, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to watch for sure.
Yeah.
So then we have Sting and Darby Allin taking on Swerve and AR Fox in a coffin match.
Joker Sting
and Darby Allin against Swerve and AR Fox in a coffin match. I'm a little bit both slightly annoyed and a little surprised that Nick Wayne is not in this match on one team.
Annoyed? He hasn't earned it. No offense to the kid. He hasn't earned it.
I don't know. I think given the feud and everything and the fact that he just got murdered.
He'll be there. Oh, he'll be there.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I think they could have put him on Sting and Darby's team and had Brian Cage on the other team, but it's fine.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he won't be there and won't be involved in the match.
That's true. It's a coffin match, so there's all sorts of crazy shit. We also have the Fatal 4-Way for the women's title. Hikaru Shida defending against Toni Storm, Saraya in her home country, and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. They've been hyping up the massive crowd doing the DMD chant, which should be pretty good.
I think Saraya's going to win this.
Really? I've heard other people say that too. I don't think it makes that much sense given that they just gave Shida the title back. But it is her in her hometown. I don't think she's going to take the pin or be involved in the finish really at all. I think it'll probably be Shida pinning Toni Storm.
Right, but here's the thing: they had to get it all. If Saraya wins, they would have had to have gotten the belt off of Toni.
Why though?
No, it doesn't make sense.
No, not really.
Anything's possible. Like,
anything's possible.
We didn't see Hikaru Shida winning.
The other thing is, like, Saraya, since she's come back, I think they've been very careful with her. Like, I was making the put her on bubble wrap joke back in the day.
Right.
Like, she's only wrestled maybe 3 or 4 matches. And it's like given her history and everything, I just feel like putting the belt on her would also entail her wrestling a lot more than we've seen. But would it? I mean, yes, she's a heel. She'd be like, I can just.
She's in a faction. She can have those other two, do her dirty work for her. But also, she's never wrestled on the big stage in the UK. Could you imagine the publicity, the goodwill?
Well, the pop if she wins too.
Like, I mean, there's just too many advantages to them doing it. That's why I'm like, I wouldn't be shocked if they did.
Now, I was just talking with Tyler about how, kind of half jokingly, how I want to see a sequel to Fighting with My Family with Florence Pugh coming back and playing Saraya, because it's like there was a point where if they had made that sequel, and I think WWE produced the first one, so like there's probably no way that they could. Really?
The Rock did.
Oh, The Rock did. Okay.
Hold on. Right. I actually got the DVD behind me somewhere.
Yeah. Well, Soda gets to do that. I think that's like a movie that I really want to see, and
it's a good movie.
There was a point where it's like it would have had not such a great ending, but now that she's back, you can actually have that happy ending and have the movie end with her either re-debuting at Grand Slam last year or possibly wrestling and winning the title here at Wembley Stadium,
And have it be historically accurate, not that bullshit that we got in the movie.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like it would be not a fun movie to watch because they'd have to put all the stuff in there with Alberto and like all that stuff. Hey, Soda, don't worry about it, man. I don't want you to
no, it's here somewhere. One of the downfalls about having as many movies as I have.
Because there's also this thing called Google. You can just, Google Fighting with My Family.
Social media.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, so I'm downloading the Willow versus Athena match as we speak.
Shh! Don't tell you. We'll get banned.
I mean, I'm loading it right now.
Loading it off of Honor Club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
with my family, let's see.
It was distributed by Metro MGM and Universal Pictures.
Yeah.
WWE Studios was involved. They were one of the production companies.
Well, here's the thing, though. To tell her story, you would need them to be involved, and they did. They did piggyback that the ending of the movie off of a Monday Night Raw, the infamous one with The Rock called CM Punk.
Yeah.
So I mean that makes sense. Part of the deal, executive producers, yada yada yada. But I mean, The Rock is the one who actually produced the movie.
But I was also thinking, like, if anybody can pull off the like traumatic like hell that she went through with like the Alberto relationship, it's freaking Florence Pugh, man. Like, geez, I just went and saw Oppenheimer in IMAX.
Oh yeah,
Florence Pugh in that movie. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So okay, let's wrap this up here before Collision goes on the air.
Yep.
The last couple matches that have been confirmed so far for All In. FTR versus the Young Bucks. We talked about that a bit earlier. Seems like for now, still on. Should be good to go.
I'm going to say that's going to be match of the night.
That's going to be a massive, massive match.
Yeah. And
then, of course, the main event, MJF versus Adam Cole for the world title. So, man, I'm hyped for this show. This is it's going to be a fun one to watch. And,
10 a.m. in the morning. It's going to be a little weird.
Yeah. I don't know if I have to work a later shift, like a 5 to close or something, that would be ideal because I could watch the whole thing before I go into work.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Is there anything else you got for us here today, Soda, or should we wrap this thing up?
I mean, I could do a quick this day in history.
Sure. Why not? We did a little bit of history of Wembley Stadium and SummerSlam '92.
Yeah.
But what are some stuff that went down in the wrestling world on August 19th?
TJR Wrestling. Let's see. Anything that actually is worth mentioning. Oh, in the midst, today is the anniversary of SummerSlam 2001 during the Invasion angle, which is actually a fucking boss pay-per-view. It's really, really good. This is the last day in 2002. On this day, is when they abolished the 24/7 rule for the hardcore title.
Oh, wow.
Takeover Brooklyn 3 happened on this day in 2017.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
This is SummerSlam 2018th anniversary with Roman versus Brock in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
It's it on that website, but I think I saw something on Cage Seats. Let's see. No, just the SummerSlam shit.
SummerSlam, yeah. I went to the 2018 SmackDown after SummerSlam, which I think were right around the anniversary of that date as well. Which would have been probably on a Tuesday, I would guess. At that point in 2018, I remember that being a very, very fun show with like Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy doing some crazy shit, and
as usual,
and Becky Lynch trying to be a heel and yet still being cheered. It's kind of funny.
Was this the one after her when she knocked Charlotte?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, fuck. WWE, good thing they did it, but they should have known.
Yeah. That was one of those things where it's like Brian Alvarez points to that as the downfall of the company when they led into those crap years there with like the Fiend and stuff. But
and then inserting Charlotte in the main event. Fuck.
Oh god. Yeah. Every time.
But just a mistake.
One thing I did forget to mention was the G1. I watched pretty much
everything went down. Like, I didn't watch.
I watched pretty much all of it this year. It was a little bit easier to get through because they had 20-minute time limit for each match, which resulted in way more draws than they've ever had in the history of the tournament. And then they also added a playoff round. Playoffs?
Interesting.
I just want to win a game. But yeah, so they had a quarterfinal round, a semifinal round, and then the finals. And if you watch any match, if you go and you say, okay, you go one match from the G1 to watch, the semifinal between Tetsuya Naito and Will Ospreay is maybe as good as the Ospreay Omega matches. It's that
Really?
fucking good. And you were talking about Brett carrying Bulldog through that match earlier.
Yeah.
Well, in the last 2 minutes of this match with Will Ospreay and Naito gets knocked the fuck out, legitimately
unconscious.
Yeah, and Ospreay has to literally carry him through the finish, and yet it's still possibly a match of the year. So go and watch that match.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Will Ospreay also had an awesome match with El Phantasmo. And then the other match that I would recommend out of all of them is Eddie Kingston versus Tomohiro Ishii.
Yeah.
That is two guys beating the shit out of each other. So great G1 this year. I'm very, 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 very happy that Naito won, because I think this is the last chance that they might get to have him have a big moment at the Tokyo Dome. And last year he got hurt 3 matches into the G1 or whatever it was. So giving him that big win this year, I think making up a bit from last year and everything. So Tetsuya Naito, the G1 this year, good stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much that's the very brief summary here before we have to end the show. But
right on. Yeah, no, I've heard there were some good matches, and I heard Eddie Kingston did pretty good.
Yeah. Wouldn't mind seeing him back for sure. But that's pretty much gonna do it for us here today, guys. To all you watching on the replay, we appreciate it. And we got a few more subscribers as well. We're up to 40 subscribers now. So keep that going. Recommend the channel to your friends and all that good stuff. Soda, anything else you got for us here before we
just check me out over on the obviously on this channel, over on my personal Instagram and Twitter, Soda__Saxman, and over on the Northern Entertainment Group, where I do some shows over there with my friend 50. And over on the Movie Hero Network last night, we did a show where we did a bracket on my top 64 favorite films. So definitely go check that out. It's a long episode. It's about 3.5 hours long, but
64, man, that would take some time to figure out.
And
I can do it, but it takes a little time.
Yeah, the winner was Back to the Future.
Nice.
Yeah, but there's movies on there that you don't hear discussed often, so that was pretty cool.
Brad Gilmore will be proud.
Yeah, of course. Me and 50, who's also on the show, we're just of course, Ben's favorite movie.
Of course.
Well, Ben's favorite movie wins. Right? So it's okay. I looked up at this guy, I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Because secretly I was hoping for Chaplin.
Yeah. No, I've been thinking about Ben a lot recently, man. I fucking miss that guy.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I don't want to end the show on a sour note, but every show we shout out Ben, he's our boy. And
every time a big movie like this weekend, Blue Beetle comes out, every time a big movie comes out, it's man, I wish he was around so we could talk about it. But
yeah.
I can take comfort in at least the son of a bitch has already seen it. So
he gets to see every movie up there.
Exactly.
We hope. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us here today, and we'll be back. I don't know when we'll be back, but that's the nice thing about this show is that we can just come on here and do this whenever the fuck we want.
Pretty much.
So there you go. We got Collision starting here in about 30 seconds, so go and enjoy that. And we'll see you guys
in an hour.
Yes, and we'll see you guys maybe before All In. We're not sure yet, but we'll talk about that on the next show. And cheers, everybody.